In preparation for the Odyssey essay, I came up with an idea to get the students to start thinking about writing thesis statements, because often they have a lot of difficulty in developing a thesis statement and understanding the debatability factor of a thesis statement. So what we did to prepare for this is do a class debate. And so this was just a daily grade, not a major or minor assessment, because students only had a day to work on this and then another day to present it. So what the purpose of this activity was for students to understand how to develop and support a thesis statement. Now, they didn't really know that at the beginning of this exercise, but in the end, I explained to them that this was the true purpose and got feedback from them how that will help them in writing their paper. So the tasks, the things that the students were supposed to do were, first, the class was divided into two teams, and it was one team that supported Odysseus as a hero and one that supported him as a criminal. So they weren't total opposites, but they were supporting two different things. And each team was had to compile evidence that supported its side. And so this evidence came from the text, the Odyssey, and they also were able to do any research. For instance, if they wanted background information about ancient Greek society to support their topic, that was fine. So they were able to do to gain information from outside sources. Now, after they got their information, they needed to create their argument. And so within each side, there were smaller teams. For instance, there was a team of speakers. And so these three speakers were the ones who were going to present the argument to the rest of the class. Then you had a team of researchers, and you had a team who would be in charge of answering any questions that the opposite team posed. Now, during the presentation, the teams had 6 minutes to present their argument, and they had 2 minutes of a question-and-answer session. Now, this was not the traditional debate style. It was just a modification of it. So they were able to use the 6 minutes any way they wanted to. Some students talked for 4 minutes, had a question-and-answer session, and then talked for 2 more minutes. And some did their whole 6 minutes prior to the question-and-answer session. Now, after the teams finished presenting, we had a class discussion about the debate process, and so then I got some feedback as to how this worked for the students. So I'm going to show you basically the different, I have some short videos of how the debate went and the after talk about the process. Wait a minute. Go.
Our team is arguing that Odysseus is a criminal.
The word hero is defined as a man of distinguished courage or ability, admired for his brave deeds and noble qualities. A few of these said noble qualities are honesty, consideration, faithfulness to his country and loved ones, selfless, has strong self-control, solid leadership skills, someone who doesn't intentionally put others in danger, and exhibits these qualities instinctively and out of a sense of duty. Whilst the protagonist of the Odyssey, Odysseus, throughout the story does display courage, he fails to show these other noble qualities, which a proper hero is supposed to have. In fact, we believe the exact opposite. We believe that he is the exact opposite of a hero. He is a criminal.
Odysseus has committed several criminal acts, and last time we checked, heroes were supposed to be the ones preventing and or stopping these acts. On top of that, aside from being courageous and clever, he does not display any other of these said noble qualities that a hero is supposed to have. A true hero is a person who commits heroic acts instinctively and because they feel like they have a duty to mankind. However, Odysseus sought out fame and glory and only performed heroic acts to give himself a better status socially and economically. Odysseus has over 100 counts of murder, 6 counts of voluntary manslaughter, led his men to pillaging, killing, and raping innocent civilians, multiple counts of cruel and unusual punishment, and on top of that, a count of reckless abandonment.
Remember question, Casey, not
Okay.
statement.
So, you're talking about reckless abandonment and how he left his kid, or told him to kiss, but the same thing happens today with American soldiers, so wouldn't that be another thing where your definition's too idealistic?
Okay. Okay. So the thoughts that he did go off to fight a war. You're correct. But instead of sailing straight home like the other leaders did, he went to go to. How do you pronounce it?
Saconis.
So he went to the Saconis and he pillaged there before even thinking about going home. He was still after his fame and glory.
2, 3.
We are arguing that Odysseus is a hero.
How can the noble, favored, decorated Odysseus not be considered a hero? He who cared for his men, honored the dead and immortals alike, who the gods delivered from multiple near-death situations, the genius general behind the Trojan horse, which won the Trojan War, a man whose name was and is known throughout the world. While it is clear that Odysseus is a hero, the opposition will try to argue that he was immoral in his actions and therefore not a hero. This argument is clearly flawed because one cannot judge another society or their members through the moral or social lenses of today.
Okay, so we define a hero as a mythological or legendary figure, often of divine descent, endowed with great strength or ability. We believe that Odysseus defines the characteristics of being a hero at the time. These characteristics include courage, cunning, strength, and being noble, also the pursuit of fame and glory. Going on our courage point, in Book 12, lines 220 through 230, the men were terrified, but I strode down the decks to rouse my crewmen, halting beside each one with a bracing, winning word. Friends, we're hardly strangers at meeting danger, and this danger is no worse than what we faced when the Cyclops penned us up in his vaulted cave with crushing force. But even from there, my courage, my presence of mind and tactics saved us all. And going on our point about cunning, he created the Trojan horse, which won the Trojan War. He also got Polyphemus drunk and then stabbed his eye out, saving his crewmen. On Book 13, lines 376 through 380, that's why I can't forsake you in your troubles. You are so winning, so worldly wise, so self-possessed. Anyone else, come back from wandering long and hard, would have hurried home at once, delighted to see his children and wife. This is Athena who said this, favoring Odysseus because of his cunning. If the gods recognize him as a hero, then we should too. Furthermore, in Book 10, lines 355 to 360, when he's on Circe's island, now, she cried, off to your sty, you swine, and wallow with your friends. But I drew my sharp sword, sheathed it at my hip, and rushed her fast as if to run her through. She screamed, slid under my
in every way possible. But he failed to do so due to fate, not because he's a bad hero.
Okay, Allie, choose someone.
Okay. Osama bin Laden has lots of fame and glory today. However, we do not view him as a hero for acts of murder. Odysseus murdered. Is that not the same as Osama bin Laden?
Okay, well, as we defined our characteristics of a hero as courage, cunning, strength, and being noble, Osama bin Laden was not noble. I mean, in the eyes of himself, he was noble, but in the eyes of most people, Odysseus is noble, and a bunch of people, especially in that time,
Just let one person answer.
everybody in the time of Odysseus looked at him as a hero and was noble. And when everybody in that time and most of the people in modern day look at him as a hero, then he's definitely a hero.
One more question, Allie.
Was the Trojan horse not the idea of Athena, the goddess?
No, it was Odysseus. Cousin Mueller, if you take that point, you could say that all ideas are conceived by immortals and that mortals have no ideas. Is that true?
what you got out of this. It was very short. It was a very short assignment. How long do you think you could have gone with this debate?
Long.
Y'all probably could have gone more than one. You probably could have done a whole double block, didn't you?
Longer than that.
Go ahead, say it.
Well, you could have gone longer because the book is really long, and you could have used a lot. There's a lot of examples for both arguments in the book. So.
Good. The thing is, do you guys know what the purpose of this activity
To get a thesis for an essay.
Yes, it's about the essay. It's not about the debate. Okay, yes, you're writing an essay. Y'all should be very happy about it. One thing I noticed with this though is that you guys had a lot of passion about it. I mean, you wanted to prove your side. Okay? Also, you seem to have a lot of knowledge of the Odyssey. That was coming out. If I had to, just listening to the different arguments and the different speakers, all of you who were speaking were very organized. You did a great job on that. I have to commend Casey on the fact that he used very specific examples and he cited his example. Okay, so I guess that was you guys working on that? Good, so y'all worked well as a team. This team, y'all did an excellent job also. I just want to pull that out because that's very much related to writing an essay. When you write an essay, when you think about a thesis statement, you want your thesis statement to be debatable. You guys both had very debatable theses because you both could prove the other, or at least use something to try to prove the other person wrong. Also, you were very organized in how you presented your points. You would have a person say this, then this, then this, and you had evidence to support those. So you want your thesis to be textually supportable. No one brought out a point that could not be supported somehow with the text. Third thing is you want it unified. So you guys had your specific idea. You know, you were talking about Odysseus being a hero. You didn't talk about Penelope being a hero. You didn't talk about Telemachus being a hero. You talked about Odysseus. Here you guys talked about him being a criminal, and that's it. I think one area that may have gotten a little shaky, but Zach, you brought it back together very well, was you started talking about why he wasn't a hero, okay? But then you used that to transition into that being him also being a criminal, okay? So you always want to remember that you come back to the thesis. Last thing was the so what factor when we talk about a thesis statement. Did you guys think your arguments were worthy? Were they important to argue about?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you want to think about when you write a paper, period. Is this paper worthy of me writing it first? And is it worthy of someone reading it? Okay, and I think both of your arguments were great. They were definitely entertaining and worth listening to. So that was the point that I wanted you to get from this assignment. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do another debate where you guys can really get into it and have a longer time. But I think both teams did a good job preparing. Does anybody have any points or questions about this? Did you have? You say yeah.
We had a really good question.
Go ahead and ask this. We have.